minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. Engines full power and liftoff of Starlink 6-4. Go Starlink, go Falcon.
Falcon 9, pitching down range.
Stage 1, chamber pressure nominal.
At T plus 30 seconds, Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Space Launch Complex 40 from Cape Canaveral, Florida at 5:56 a.m. Eastern Time. The next major milestone coming up is max Q, which is when the vehicle experiences the greatest amount of external stresses as it ascends through the Earth's atmosphere.
Falcon 9 is supersonic.
And Falcon 9 is now traveling supersonic, meaning it is going faster than the speed of sound.
Max Q.
We are about 1 minute away from a series of events being MECO, stage separation, SES-1, and fairing separation. MECO stands for main engine cutoff, which is when all 9 Merlin engines will shut down in preparation for stage separation. During stage separation, pneumatic pushers will separate the first and second stages, and the first stage will begin its journey back to Earth, while the second stage will light its Merlin vacuum.
Chilling in.
Light its Merlin vacuum engine, marking second engine start 1, to propel our Starlink satellites to their planned orbits. And shortly after, the fairing halves will separate and fall away from the vehicle to later be recovered. And let's keep an eye out for these events happening in pretty quick succession, in about 20 seconds.
MECO.
Stage separation confirmed.
And vaccination.
And as you just saw and heard over the nets, we had successful MECO, stage separation, and SES-1. We're now coming up on fairing separation from the second stage in a few seconds.
Fairing separation confirmed.
And we will be attempting to recover both fairing halves using our recovery vessel Bob. Both of the fairing halves that supported today's mission are flight proven, with one half flying for its 6th time and the other flying for its 9th. And currently, the first stage is on its way back to Earth towards our drone ship, Just Read the Instructions. And the MVAC engine attached to the second stage is continuing its burn, which will last for another several minutes.
Both stages continue on nominal trajectories.
And as you just heard, stage 1 and stage 2 are both following nominal trajectories and performing as expected. And as you can see on your screen, we have 2 out of Falcon's 4 grid fins in view on the left, and they measure 4 feet by 5 feet and help us guide the booster to its landing site by actively changing the vehicle's center of pressure. And as I mentioned earlier, today's Starlink mission marks SpaceX's 37th mission just this year and 236th mission overall. And coming up next in the mission is entry burn on the first stage, which is the first of 2 burns it will go through in preparation for landing. Designed and manufactured by SpaceX, Starlink is the world's largest satellite internet constellation. And Starlink satellites operate in low Earth orbit, which enables the delivery of high-speed, low-latency internet to people living in remote and rural locations around the globe. And Starlink is currently live in 71 markets and countries around the world.
Stage 1 entry burn startup.
Stage 1 FTS is saved.
And there's the call out for Stage 1 entry burn. And Stage 1, which we also call the booster, has ignited engines 1, 5, and 9 to slow it down for atmospheric re-entry.
Stage 1 entry burn shutdown.
And you just heard the call out that the entry
Stage
burn
2 FTS is saved.
that the entry burn on the first stage has completed. And the next major milestone coming up will be the beginning of our Stage 1 landing burn, where a single Merlin engine is lit up to scrub Falcon's last bit of velocity before touching down. And we can expect that last landing burn to begin in about
Stage
a
1
minute from
trajectory
now.
nominal.
Stage 1 transonic.
And you just heard the call out that the first stage is now transonic, meaning it is traveling nearly the speed of sound.
Stage 1 landing burn.
And there's confirmation that the Stage 1 landing burn has started in preparation for touchdown on our drone ship. Just read the instructions.
Stage 2 terminal guidance.
Stage 1 landing leg deploy. Stage 1 landing confirmed.
And this Falcon 9 first stage has now successfully launched and landed for the 3rd time. And we're now coming up on second engine cutoff.
SECO.
Expected loss of signal, Cape Canaveral.
Nominal orbit insertion.
And there you heard the call that we were waiting for SECO 1 and confirmation of good orbit. Today's landing marks our 197th overall landing of an orbital class rocket, including Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy missions. And with confirmation of successful first stage landing and second engine cutoff, that will wrap up our coverage for today. Be sure to check our social media for confirmation of Starlink deployment. And if one launch wasn't enough for you today, be sure to check out our CRS-28 launch coming up in just a few hours if weather cooperates, with coverage beginning around 8:45 a.m. Pacific time. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.